The Mason Minute with Kevin Mason.
I've noticed that more and more young people, and I'm not just talking kids, I'm talking young people, have a hard time dealing with reality versus fantasy. And I'm sure a lot of that has to do with video games. It's one thing, when we were playing video games as a kid, you were talking Pac-Man and Dig Dug and Frogger. They weren't reality-based, but they sure weren't fantasy-based. But now with all the shoot-'em-up video games, now with all the YouTube channels, a lot of fantasy is involved, not real-world situations. I realize that games like Grand Theft Auto can be real-life situations, but they're not. They're fantasy. We all know that. But more people want to live in the fantasy world than live in the real world. For some reason, I've always been well grounded in reality. I remember in our day, the fantasy world, Dungeons and Dragons. I was more into following the stats of baseball or basketball or even football because that was reality. But yet I see more and more people interested in fantasy and less interested in reality. And for the future, well, that concerns me.